Welcome to The Looking Glass. This is for Hamed and the collective. If you're here, you're meant to hear this message. We opened a portal live on TikTok called The Looking Glass, and this is an alchemical art technique of covering a piece of paper with charcoal and allowing spirits, our higher self, to teach us about what is going on with us in our current reality and what to expect in our future. This particular reading is going to teach you how to grow your spirit to the point of stepping into your divinity, stepping into your gift, and becoming greater than what we are now. Hamed is at 12 o'clock. He's standing next to the crucible and a Christ on a cross. His feet is in water. The waters are being separated down the middle, kind of like Moses. Waters separating in the middle are an allegory of our brains being separated from each hemisphere and finding the pineal gland. It is also representative of going through a polar shift. There's an angry woman at 11 o'clock, and the second piece doesn't represent water, it represents fire and a splitting off of worlds. The symbolisms change very much from the first piece to the second piece because the second piece represents balance and represents purpose. And the purpose is being presented to Hamed about what he is meant to do once he goes through the baptism of water and the baptism of fire, which is really a balance of male and female, the sun and the moon. And let's talk about this and why there seems to be such a great separation right now in the world and why everything seems backwards. We're going to talk about how this is not only can be numerically understood, but spiritually, how there is a polar shift that is occurring to us individually and collectively. If you notice the pole at 6 o'clock and the pole is cut, there are poles that need to be investigated here. You have the name Boaz on your forehead in your first piece. One of the pillars of King Solomon's temple is named Boaz. These pillars are about leaving the foulness of the material world in order to reach a higher realm of enlightenment. So you are being asked to walk through the two pillars, which makes the number 11, to go to a higher realm of understanding. The word Boaz means strong, strength, power, might, refuge, source of strength. This name is also about exuding force outside of self. According to the ancient rabbins, Solomon was an initiate of the mystery schools, and the temple which he built was actually a house of initiation containing pagan philosophic symbolisms. King Solomon's temple mirrored the Egypt or Atlantis world. So when the initiate was ready to go through the two pillars, which one of them was Boaz, they were entered into another world, metaphorically. To talk more deeply about the two pillars, we're going to talk about the two towers. Notice the two towers sits in front of water, and the water mirrors the two towers. The two towers looks like the number 11, and 911 is 9 plus 1 plus 1 equals 11. So here we have 1111. 1111 equals 4. Your fourth heart chakra is being centered here. The twin towers reflects your twin flame. The two towers were set on fire. So water and fire came together as one in our outer reality, death and life. The number 11 also represents the sun, as the sun flips every 11 years. In this particular year, in 2001, when the two towers, the twin flames, were on fire in front of water, it represented that we went through a polar shift from our mind to our heart. They knew that the two towers were going to be burned a long time ago. If you look at the two towers on the Supertramp album that is showcased by this waitress, you can see the number 9/11, and this album was actually produced in 1979. So we live in a mirror reality where we're only seeing half truths. The true truth is in the mirror, as you can see the number 911 above the two towers. So why would they do such a terrible thing to the two towers and to the people within it if they knew it was going to happen before it happened? If you look at the mirror image of this album, you'll actually see the two pillars of Boaz and King Solomon. I think there were a group of fallen angels that wanted to keep this shift from occurring by making something negative occur. Because the sun flips every 11 years, there was a magnificent polar shift that occurred where we flipped from our mind to our heart. A new paradigm is beginning to grow, and the way we used to operate our business and operate our relationships is changing. We are beginning to be led by our heart, which is focused on formlessness, instead of our mind, which is focused on the material world or form. This is the symbol of King Solomon. The triangle facing down is water. The triangle facing up is fire. This is the two towers, and it looks like the two towers with fire and water, which is the number 11. The wall represents that we have gone through the heart chakra and that the electromagnetic energy from the sun is now beginning to communicate with the electromagnetic energy that is coming within our heart. Notice the letter M and the letter W of the Seal of Solomon, and we can see the tower mirroring in the water of Solomon. The water is always a little hazy because the ripples in the water show us a hazy truth. The female is in the beard of the man. This represents that if you have male energy, you are going to be polarized and shifted into your female aspect. If you are male, you are going to be shifted, or if you're female, you're going to be shifted into your male aspect. We were born in the moon. This means we were born in sin, as the god of the moon was named Sin. So mind represents the moon, and our mind dominated the sun or our heart. As we went through this polar shift, we went through a flip, and this flip made it so that the sun dominated the moon. And this reflects that our heart dominates our mind. And this is scientific. Our heart actually has a much stronger magnetism than our mind does. So our original brain is actually our heart. And the key of Solomon is Sol Oman, is Sol equals sun and Oman equals moon. The sun must dominate the moon in order to see the truth and come above the wall of falseness. The crucible is about the cross, the fire, the gauntlet, the ordeal, and the trial. So it's no wonder that you're going through trials in your life right now. I would recommend that you read books about the way of the crucible, the forge and the crucible, to understand the crucible that you are going through in your life right now. I also made a video that kind of colors a picture about what the crucible is.
What does it mean to take on the sins of this world? The allegory of the Christ on the cross or the hanged man is a spiritual time in our lives. The ignorant scarecrow on the cross does not know what to think, and so it adopts the thoughts of others. The scarecrow does not know who he is. The scarecrow became a false human, a carbon copy of a matrix system, and not the mind of divine source. When we are resurrected or reborn, we are connected to a higher self, which helps us find our true thoughts and feelings.
And this rebirth is like a death. We die of who we thought we were in order to step into our true self. We say goodbye to what once was, as who we were was connected to a system which no longer serves spirit.
We will then be brought into a school of mastery where we submit our will to the will of God, our higher self. And this mastery does not come from the flesh, it comes from spirit. Forgiveness is not always a kind act. Remember what I said. If you do not hate your brother, your mother, your sister, even your own life, you cannot follow me. Dying on the cross is dying of an old paradigm which no longer serves spirit, and this includes dying of self and dying of old relationships.
We cut off the head of the ego. Off with your head! And we become the Queen of Hearts, opening our heart chakra.
The heart chakra beats to a different drum than that of the mind.
And when someone's negative energy tries to come upon you, you just simply say, "Be gone before a house drops on your head."
I'll get you one day, my pretty.
Hi, Wicked Witch. Let's have a talk. How's being a reptilian working out for you?
Well, I like to control people.
Listen, Wicked Witch, your heart chakra is totally blocked.
Oh, would you like to open my heart chakra?
The answer, mind-controlling, shape-shifting reptilian, is no.
Well, shit. And when we disconnect from the mind of the matrix, we reconnect our hearts to divine source. But that's impossible. Wake up, Bastion. I am your twin flame.
Bastion, open your heart. Call out my name.
So, Hamed, it's kind of a Christian concept that you're going through the baptism of water, but it's really not. The ancient Egyptians and Sumerians and the Essenes would purify their souls in water and then fire. So here in the second piece, you are in fire. And this fire is about balancing your female with your male. You need to become the females. Put your feet in the shoes of the female. And when you do this, you're going to unlock a treasure within you. According to your reading, the treasure that is within you is that you are a remote healer. You are a remote Reiki healer, but you should also get into hypnotism and divination. So you have symbols in your hand that are connected to divination, hypnotism, and even the head piece on your head that looks like a pyramid is connected to remote healing and using specific imagery and devices connected to the chakras that will help people to heal. Some people have animal magnetism that is stronger than others that can really help assist with remote viewing and remote healing, and you are one of them. So that thing that you have on your head is a chakra spinning, and they're explaining here how a patient needs to watch this chakra as it's spinning. And while they're watching this spin, you are also watching the same spin. And you become connected, and there is some sort of healing property within the spinning of the particular chakra that they are dealing with, so that they can become unblocked, heal themselves, heal others, step into their divinity, step into their power, so that they are not under narcissistic control and under the control of the medical association. So this remote view has to be practiced and worked on, as any gift does. And so you're going to practice this and work this and continue to persevere in all of your efforts so that you can become a master divinator and a master remote healer. There is a man next to you with the letters AMA, and this is against medical advice. And my feeling about AMA, against medical advice, is moving away from conventional medicine and teaching people that healing begins in the spirit, not the flesh. And as we begin to heal the spirit, we begin to heal the flesh. And we begin to be a collective healer and remote healers. And the paradigm of the mind and the old conventional ways of medicine are changing. So you're going to be part of that shift, where we are shifting away from how we heal and how we see healing individually and collectively. So you have a dog in your piece, and this reflects you listening to the divine order of God. You seem to be a blue avian as well. I will say in your left hand is a man that is in almost like a jail cell, waiting and keeping himself pure and keeping himself away from society. And so on one hand, it's about whether you make this shift or not. If you can go through the crucible, forgive, and step into balance of male and female, water and fire, then the butterfly effect will take its place. So our actions are a prayer, so your actions are going to affect the outcome. This in-between place is an alchemical symbol that is about being in a cave or being in a cocoon so that you can learn and grow before you step out into your purpose and your path. According to your art, you have animal magnetism. This means that people are magnetically attracted to you, and you have an energy kind of like the force that helps with your power to remote heal and to be a hypnotherapist or to get into Reiki and also teaching people how to remote heal themselves. So your other hand, you are not in a cave, but you're holding a treasure, and you're just about to open this treasure box. You're leaving an old world behind, the mirror, the water world. You're leaving that world behind, and this is the mirror world. And so if you look at the mirror, you can see the man next to you is remote healing, like stretching their hands through time. And this is your piece as a mandala. Now, let's go over what you're going through. Notice how that letter T looks like a wall. You are currently trying to go over the wall, which is your heart chakra. And when we meet fire, which is our higher self, it can kill us in the sense that life will slap us in the face real hard. And if we are living a false reality, if we are not balanced between male and female, we won't make it over the wall. So notice the heart chakra around 5 o'clock at your feet. And you need to bring that heart chakra up your body, up to above the wall, and embrace the feminine energy within you. And the divine feminine isn't an angry woman trying to hurt you. The divine feminine within you is intuitive and the mother of the inner child, the mother of the earth, and the divine mother. You're holding a star with the letter S, and this is Solomon. Solomon is the sun dominating the moon. And it has the letters IF. This is intermittent fasting, but IF is also a scientific term for solar flux. And so this is about going through a solar flip, and this is every 11 years. Notice that your body looks like a pillar, and it had the letter AA on it. This is about the energy of you being the two atoms. It's like Adam, and you should be Adam, Eve. You should be balanced between Adam and Eve. So in this divinity piece with the mirror, you can see these red cloaked beings are a low vibe energy. This is people who have not moved above the wall. They are polarized. And here you are now finally above the wall, and you are living your divinity. You are completely balanced. You are hearing the divine order of God, and you are allowing it to lead you to help others get above the wall. So the crucible is an alchemical symbol. It's in, if you get into hermetics or alchemy, these symbols are quite common. So you are the man that is hiding right now, like this alchemical symbol. And then there is another alchemical symbology of a man in between two hills, and you are being safe, and you're being saved from fire and water. So you're in the in-between place currently, and you are just now awakening. You have to allow the divine order of God, your heart, to lead you, because the story could be good or bad. It's either one hand or the other. It depends on how hard you work at it, and you forgive, and you allow your heart chakra to move you into the eye of the needle, which is becoming nothing and then becoming everything. So you had the number 4433, and it says, why do I keep seeing 1111? And on your piece, this 4433 is next to a tic-tac-toe symbol. The tic-tac-toe symbol is 1111 laying on each other horizontally and vertically. The 1111 is the fourth heart chakra. It is the twin flame and the twin towers. It is Boaz. 4433 is also about learning to be alone and then learning to be together. There may be some feelings about being mistreated, being imprisoned, and you feel that this system must be successful, and that's why the number 4433 reflects this as well. You're going through a change, you're going through a polar shift, and everyone who goes through it goes through trouble. And like the movie Avatar, your dragon will try to kill you. The fire will try to kill you, and you have to overcome through the heart chakra and become one with the dragon. One man who exists on every place at the same time. We need to look into this because this really resonated with me for you, that you may have one soul and each soul is on different planes at the same time. You are seeking great things for yourself. Stop seeking such things. It's funny because I received this same message when I was in my self-important stage, wanting to be important. And Spirit said, stop seeking great things for yourself. Stop wanting self-importance. Just listen to the divine order of God, and then you won't have to worry for anything. And I think that's the message for you as well. Thank you for the energy that you have to teach us about stepping into the flame, stepping into facing our demons, facing our polarized beliefs or emotions, and helping us come into balance so that we can share our power and our gift with others and help to raise the consciousness of the world. Notice the number 111 by your cloak. This is the number of the sun. The number of the sun is 111, and it flips every 11 years. If you would like a reading, go to floristfairy.com.